but for you, you were in that tormented headspace for a long time.
Yeah.
Does that mess with you as a human being, or can you shed it?
Aren't I a tormented soul, guys? No, it was. It's how do I even? It was what it was a process of introspection. Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I spent a lot of time isolated, traveling the trains across India. You're going to these orphanages alone. He made me write a diary, which I'd never done before. And that makes you really confront some things inside yourself. And, you know, Danny Boyle had always said something to me when I did Slumdog, that it's very easy to come in and display attributes and do that. But to be still and let the camera enter you through your eyes, that's difficult. And I have bounds of nervous energy, so I always had that inside my head. And yeah, did I answer that question?
You did.
I did.
You did.
All right, yeah.
I say yes.
I think so.
Now that I've seen the movie a couple times and I can like take a step back and not sob and just actually really watch and be like, oh my God, they did this so cool and this so cool. Now that I'm watching it a bunch of times, I focus on sorry, spoiler, on the reunion scene at the end with you and your biological mother. And then I think of like the pressure to get that moment right more than any other moment in the whole movie. That just had to feel so cathartic and real and emotional. How did you prepare for that actual shot?
Well, that was the first scene I shot in the movie. And, you know, you spent 8 months of sleepless nights having nightmares about this moment and how to play it, not overcook it, but you know this is a climax, so it has to work. And then I flew to India 3 weeks early to watch this magnificent little pocket rocket, which is Sunny Dilip Pawar, who begins the film. And you know, everyone on set, 3 weweeks to go till the big day, and then it's like you got 2 weeks to go, a couple of days to go, and I'm like, oh, thank you, no pressure then. We were in a really isolated space in India, and the only person I could really interact with was Priyanka, the woman who played the mother. And we really became very close, and every night after she'd finished filming, we'd have dinner together and talk about life and whatever. And Garth, a week before that shot, he said, you're no longer allowed to spend any time together. I want you alone. And he kind of starved us of this friendship, this energy. And the day we shot that, I experienced it as the scene as the audience did. The only capable English language speaker in that village was a man that I pull out this little picture of when I was a child, and I'm looking for my brother, my mother. I used to live here. And he's like, 1 second, and then he walks off, and I follow him around this village. And everything was sacred. And, I was touching the walls, and it was to spark a nostalgic emotion. And I turn the corner, and I see these 3 figures in the distance. And as they come closer, I start to recognize it's Priyanka. But she's been so beautifully aged. And it was very overwhelming. And we were just like these 2 atoms that collided and came together. And there was no extras around us. She had told 3 women in the crowd that she was about to meet her real son that she hasn't seen in 20 years. And so for the first 4 takes, they were reacting to it with absolute truth and honesty. And that's a really beautiful experience when you're in this molecule of just absolute honesty. And I felt like I say this a lot, but it was like being an avatar. All these hands started reaching forward and touching my face. And I was crying, and people were wiping away my tears. And it was only when we had to start resetting again that you felt like, oh shit, I'm in the Colosseum. Because some of the boys are like, wait, he's crying again. And I'd be getting into it in the side. I'd start doing press-ups, and then, they see the illusion.
Right.
But the first couple times was, quite, overwhelming.